4 days, there have been series of disturbing incidents. A mob attacked a group of people traveling near Kangpokpi in Kangpokpi district. All 5 of them were abducted. One of them was later found critically injured. A search is on for others who are relatives of a soldier. On Sunday, 2 teens had gone missing in Imphal Valley. Police have recovered only their phones so far. An incident of firing has been reported from Imphal West as well. Now, what is happening in the state which went into a spiral of violence in May? I would say that the state was coming back to normalcy. I would say that things had improved a lot. There was unison of action between different forces. But then this sort of a inter-community fight shows that the peace is fragile, superficial in nature. Divisions are so deep that even a small relative area where some people can take action, the fringe group, a part of the community, they can in fact derail the entire effort. Now, before I go any forward, let me tell you that I'll be joined by Thangulal Hauke, Assistant Professor, Center for Study of Law and Governance, JNU, Group Captain Retired, B. Nandakumar Sharma. I'll also be joined by Professor Prasannajit Biswas from Northeast Hill University, Shillong. And later I'll be joined by Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, Defence and Geopolitical Expert. I am also joined by my input editor, Brijesh Pandey. But before that, the important thing, what are we talking about? Now, tension part of Kangpokpi and Imphal West district. That's one part. These are the recovered weapons. This is the work which the police is doing. 4 members of the Kuki-Meiti community have been abducted. Now, this business of abducting each other is something which is which police is trying to curb. All 4 are reportedly soldiers' relatives. Manipur is tense, and we are describing you what has happened in last 80 hours. So, the whole family, the part of the family got abducted and one person was able to save himself. Why this happened? Is it because of rumors? But the fact of the matter is, it's so fragile, it's so superficial. 9 injured in exchange of gunfire, which means that, the police, they tried to get into an area so that, they could ensure that it's free of the antisocial elements, but then firing happened. It means that weapons are still free floating. So the bottom line is that there are too many weapons out there, one. And the second thing is that, people, the communities are taking law in their own hand, and this is really not about state. So children of one community goes missing, the mob tries to attack the members of the other community. Brijesh, let me just keep aside the state. I mean to say that there is no role of the state here. The people from community, both the community have organized themselves to do this action, which anyone would say is completely illegal.
Well, I think there's the role of the state, Kartikeya, for the simple reason that, once you have an absolute faith in the law and order machinery, then, you trust the police, then you trust the army and so on and so forth. But here, this is not the case. And, we may keep on using the term fragile peace, when we did a program, when it was 6 months of the violence which has happened. Then also I said that, the situation has not changed much. The only thing which has changed is earlier you would hear about, firing taking place every 3-4 days. Now the gap has widened, but the situation per se has not improved. And I mean, if you look at the incident where, where 5 people were abducted, there was a firing which took place between both sides. 2 civilians and policemen were also injured. The fact is, it's free for all. It's just that now a lot of recalibration is being done, and also the attempt also which is being made by both sides to make sure that the situation doesn't spiral out of control. But barring that, I don't think the situation has improved much. Killing has stopped, yes, that's a big yes. But other than that, I mean, people still have gun, people still are planning, plotting, and they are acting as per the planning, plotting, and police is missing in action.
I am also joined by Thangulal Hauke. I am also joined by Mr. Sharma. Mr. Sharma, coming to you first, can you just take our viewers as to what has happened? A sort of a broad description of last 80 hours.
Brijesh, is very unfortunate. The violence has started again. Yesterday, 10 or 12 people have been injured. They were harvesting the rice crops, and the firing started from the hilltops. And it had happened in 4 different places of the Imphal West and I think it's in Imphal West. And also today also in the morning, since morning to around in the afternoon at 4 places, the firing took place. And actually yesterday the firing was from hilltop. Today, and the firing was from the foothills. And the poor villagers who are harvesting their crops, they have been warned to run away if you want to save your life, and the many have been injured. And yesterday, as you know, including 2 police commandos, they have been injured. And this is a very sad situation where the farmers are harvesting their crops. You would have heard many crops have been also been burned, and they have been threatened, and this violence has started. And I said earlier, about 1.5 months back, there is a reported that small SUV class of vehicles, 13 or 15 of them, or maybe about more than that, have arrived with full arms and ammunition. And I also mentioned in your program that they will come into play in the future time. That actually is happening. And also there has been rumors or informations floating around among the Meitei communities that the other community may attack in the November. So exactly it is happening. And the most surprising thing is there are presence of about 60,000 to 70,000 central forces and state forces about close to 40 to 45,000. Despite that, we are not able to control this violence. And the 6 months has already been passed, as you know it. And it's very sad. And the democracy in India, though it seems very successful in the rest of the part of the India, but in Manipur, democracy is absolutely failed, and the law and order is absolutely in shambles. It is very sad for both the communities, Kukis and Meiteis. We are living in the 21st century, and we are saying that we are in democracy, and we are facing this type of situation. It's very sad affair in our country, I would say this.
Mr. Hauke, what's the broader picture? People abducting each other, communities abducting each other, this, sorry to use the word business, this business of abduction.
Tit for tat with such
This is tit
absolute
for tat.
impunity.
I mean to say, there is no role of the state. The civil societies have organized themselves. Vengeance.
Yes, exactly.
Mr. Sharma, for Mr. Hauke, I'll come to you.
Okay. Let me start by saying that selective justice is injustice. Selective justice is a threat to justice. So any kind of justice that has to be given, it has to be fast, it has to be delivered. If you look into the kind of justice that has been delivered unequally in Manipur in the last 6 months, you would find that there is selective justice. For instance, the recent incidents of 2 teenagers being abducted or being untraceable within a year, within a day. The police were able to find the kidnappers or suspects from the neighboring Kangpokpi district. On the other hand, yesterday an incident happened where a group of 5 people, including 2 elderly women, who were abducted, who were on the way from Chersanpur to Kangpokpi, were abducted on the way, and one of the elderly man, 65 years old, miraculously escaped, but he was being hurt, and I think he's confined to some kind of medical treatment. So looking back into the last 6 months, the clear case of David Thier, who has been butchered, whose head has been cut from his main body. So look into all these cases. The perpetrators, the criminals who did that are very clear. There are evidence about the people who are involved in those cases. But where is the justice for those people? It's been 6 months, more than 5 months has been passed since that accident. Where is the police action? Where is the case of certain injustice that has been done to the Kuki-Joe community that has not been addressed by the police?
Okay.
So absolutely, there is a kind of impunity of
Okay. You're talking about sense of injustice. Sorry, Mr. Hauke, I'm stopping you here. Prasanjit, my whole issue is, okay, I'll come back to you. Prasanjit, my whole issue here is that, the word which Mr. Sharma used, rumors. Rumors are a tool which societies deploy to refashion the truth, sociologically speaking. Rumor is a tool. Rumor is a narrative. Rumor is a pre-social media narrative. If I have to be, if I have to stand correct, rumor is a pre-social media narrative which is deployed by powerful people sometimes, or sometimes people who are not powerful, to create that narrative. Now, my question is very simple. What I have really understood, Prasanajit, is that the aggrieved two communities have decided to hit back at each other. There was a story of 2 children missing, correct? I am not saying that it's part of the Manipur, it's there in the tweets of the Manipur police, you know. Then you have this abduction taking place, and then you have the firing taking place. So my question is that it is so fragile that if the police moves away, two will not be able to stay put together, which means that the deployment of this police seems to be permanent for both war and peace. What can be more tragic than that?
No, it's a kind of a situational perspective that you are giving, but a situated perspective is needed, not just situational perspective. A situated perspective would be that there is an absence of political solution, and no one knows how politically the larger political system is responding to such a situation, that both the communities keep continuing victimizing each other, and the innocent, helpless, vulnerable ones from the communities are being targeted in a systematic manner. This shows an absence of political will on the part of the center, I would say. Because center has not corrected certain basic wrongs, and one of the basic wrong was, which was raised by the Kuki minority, is that a complete breakdown of the state police and law and order machinery. Now, law and order machinery is controlled from above. So if the control from above itself remains, somewhat shallow, somewhat not in a situation of controlling, then what happens is that the central government has to come down. It has to correct the picture. As far as Assam Rifles is concerned, they are manning the checkposts. And it is through these checkposts that the abductions have happened.